Hello everyone and welcome to the Distinct Mastering YouTube channel. My name is Freddie. Today we're going to be talking about a cool little plugin by Brainworx and Plugin Alliance called SubSynth. Let's get right into the video and check it out. Okay, before we get into my session and check this thing out, I want to tell you what this thing really is. It's a subharmonic synth. And basically, you might be looking at me like, what does that mean? Well, it analyzes the incoming signal of what you're feeding it, and then it tries to create a subharmonic frequency out of that. You can sweep around and find the sweet spot for that. And I'll show you how this all works. But really, it was used back in the day to add some subharmonics, and it was when subsynthesis came out. So the DBX 120 XP was famous among lots of musicians, DJs, and it would just give them an extra low end that they may not have had. So when would you use something like this? Well, if you've got maybe a live bass or electric bass, or maybe just even a synth or a sample that just has this bass that's perfect for your track, but just is lacking low end, this might be perfect for that. What this is going to do, like I said, is going to find the low end of whatever you feed it, or the resonant frequency, I should say, and it's going to create a subharmonic frequency 1 octave below that. Let's get into my session and talk about this. Okay, here we are. I have an Ableton session loaded up, and I chose to use Serum to be a sound source. If you're a Serum user, I'll get this. I have a sawtooth wave on oscillator A, nothing on oscillator B, but you know there's a sub oscillator. And what this does, if you just look, you can turn this on and it will create the same thing, but it will just be 1 octave below your main oscillator in Serum. The SubSynth here to the right is doing a similar thing, but in a different way. So we're going to talk about the controls, how it works. I'm going to show you what it does in Plugin Doctor, and then show you with Serum how we can add some more low end to this sawtooth. So the first thing, looking at the plugin, it's made up of 3 panels. You have your global section and this input section here on the left, where you can choose between mid and stereo. Mid's going to just take a look at the mid information to try to find that resonant frequency to create the subharmonic frequency. And stereo is going to look at the full spectrum. It might be good and cleaner to switch to mid if you're dealing with something that's very stereo, but the low end is centered. Maybe you're dealing with a whole track. Maybe you're dealing with, a bus. I don't know. Whatever you're feeding into this thing. For me, I'd probably be feeding bass into this. I wouldn't find myself using this for many other things. However, you could potentially add it to keys. Maybe you've got a piano part that's lacking some low end, maybe a guitar part. I guess the options could be open for the need. This is kind of one of those plugins that I would use in need. So then you have your gain in, gain out. You have your mix knob here. And then you have the mid side, the mono maker, and the stereo width. Okay, the next section here in the middle is the subsection. This is where you can turn up the subharmonics. And then here you have the synthesized frequency. So there are 3 bands. Notice the trim potentiometers right here. You can adjust the trim level of each band. So if you need a little more gain in a band, you can do that there. You also have solo buttons for each frequency, and these sweep. So the first one is 24 to 36 hertz, 56 to 80 hertz, and 36 to 56 hertz. So they sweep across and try to find the resonant frequency, and I'll show you how this works later in the video. Okay, and then you have the edge section where you can kind of compress and distort the signal. Smooth is going to give you a much smoother characteristic. Harsh is going to give you a much harsher distortion. You have a squeeze button here where you can choose the amount of how much you want to control the dynamics. You have the drive, which is how much distortion you're going to give it. And then you have these low and high cuts, which is basically crossover points, and it's going to tell the unit where you want the distortion to begin. And lastly, you have the tight punch here, which basically will sweep from 0 to 60. It's just going to kind of give you a little bit more of a resonant bump at whatever area this is, so you can get a little bit more tighter low end. Then you have the overall volume of all of the low end. Then you have your output here. So I'm going to go ahead and reset this. You have 4 states. You have undo and back, and all your global controls are right at the top, just like any Brainworx plugin. So if I reset this back to 0, you can see the squeeze is at 50 and all this is off. It's exactly where we want to be, subharmonics at 50. Now moving into Plugin Doctor here, as you see with the unit off, I get a flat response. With the unit turned on, I instantly get a roll off at about 15 hertz down here and starting up at about 40, 50 hertz. So do note that once you turn this on, you're going to have a roll off at about 50 hertz. And as you can see, if I turn the mix off, it turns away. Mono maker, if I just turn it all the way summed to mono at 22 kilohertz, you see some bass comes back, which is kind of interesting. Stereo width doesn't seem to do anything on this section, which is good. Let's reset that. And then you have the subharmonics. So you can see the subharmonics is already on a little bit. You can see it's kind of wavering there. And as I turn it up, I get a little bit more signal. Now what you're going to see here is if I boost these areas, you're going to start seeing that subharmonic working. As you see, if I turn it off, so I'm sweeping across. What's funny is it's actually just turning things up and introducing more frequencies up to 200 when it says that it's only going up touching 80 hertz. I find that interesting. Here's 24 to 36 hertz. So it's boosting around 20 hertz and cutting bass right here. So that's interesting. And here is 36 to 56 hertz. So it's just wildly giving the signal just crazy EQ boosts and cuts in areas. So this is one of those, I wouldn't consider it a one knob plugin. It's not one knob, but it's really just one of those super style enhanced EQs almost, with, if you really think about it. You know, it's obviously not that because it's creating a subharmonic frequency underneath, but you're basically EQing part of your signal and then adding to your signal. Let's take a look at, let's boost this and this and this, and then boost this up, and let's give this some squeeze. All right, that's not doing much. Now we got to add some drive. That's why. See if I do the squeeze. Now it's controlling the dynamics, like I said, so it's lowering the volume of those. So you can see it's just actually attenuating, and it's also, it's got this interesting little boost right here at about 19,000. That doesn't happen if you turn off the drive. And then we've got the low cut. So you see that the bottom just moves up, and then the high cut. So there it rolls off some of the mid range. So I don't even know if I would truly call that a high cut if you think about it, because it is cutting those highs, but that's so high the human can't even hear that. So that's interesting to me. Here's the tight punch that I said was the roll-off point, 0 to 60. So you see it's just bringing that in. And then we have the low end overall volume, so you can control just the output right here. So that is the BX SubSynth on Plugin Doctor. Okay, so here's the sound I'm starting with in Serum. It's just a basic sawtooth wave playing at C1. And the octave is at 0. You can't see that, but I'll bring this over here so you can see that. The octave is at 0. And this was the sub I was talking about earlier if you couldn't see it. It's basically what the sub does is it adds that octave below. Here's 2 octaves below. You're gonna need some low speakers. You're gonna need some speakers with some big subwoofers to be able to hear some of this. We are dealing with a SubSynth. So now, with the plugin on, let me go ahead and boost some of these frequencies. So I could see there's not much happening from 56 to 80 hertz. But you see here, 24 to 36 hertz, I've got some sub. There's some here over at 56 hertz. There's a little bit up there too. So I'm just catching all of the resonances. Look at that. Boom. Let's drive it now. See, that's the harsh. See the squeeze. That's turning the dynamics down. I have a flat tone. I'm not doing much. If you had more of a transient sound, you might want to play with that. Let's turn the output down. We're peaking a little bit. We've got a lot going on with this sub here. Probably want to gain this down a little bit and give myself some headroom. There we go. I don't hear anything with the high cut. I don't hear much going on with the low cut. The tight punch though. Look at that. And this is the overall volume of that low end. So there we have a signal that started with this buzzy little sawtooth, tiny little sawtooth, to this meaty, beefy sub. Just nasty. So that's the BX SubSynth. It's a pretty cool plugin. I have been sleeping on it myself. It's been sitting in my plugins folder, and I'm trying to go through and learn about new plugins and teach them to you as well. So if you're missing that one, hit up Plugin Alliance, check them out. It might save you in the rare instance that you need that subharmonic frequency. Maybe you're dealing with audio, maybe you don't have the ability to add a sub just like Serum has. You never know. Pretty cool plugin, it does a lot, and I suggest you might want to check it out. So if you found this video useful, please do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and the bell notification will keep you up to date. My name is Freddie from Distinct Mastering. I'd love to hear your comments below. What are you thinking? What'd you think of this video? Future videos? Please do let me know. And until then, I will catch you on the next one. Peace.